comprehensive news coverage for the University of San Francisco. This is News 35, your campus news and information leader.
I'm Kayla Kuhn with News 35. Ghosts, the supernatural, and the dead are usually subjects reserved for campfire stories in the big screen. Except this nightmare has become a reality for those living on the USF campus, as they've soon realized that they're living over a graveyard. Over 24 caskets were found on campus this summer during construction, which was a big reminder for those who didn't already know. USF is built on the Masonic Cemetery. I'm Kayla Kuhn with News 35, and I'm with Alan Zyka, the Director of Institutional Research at USF. Exactly what did they find while they were doing construction down on campus?
Well, I could probably back up just a little bit. They found the remains of citizens of San Francisco that were buried probably back in the 19th century. And you need to know a little bit about the history of San Francisco to probably fully appreciate the background to those individuals. If you go back to the 19th century, it was all cemeteries. In fact, where we're sitting right now was a Catholic cemetery called Calvary Cemetery. The area where the bodies were found down on the main campus, that was a Masonic cemetery. And there were approximately 19,000 Masons buried there beginning around 1860. And just as up here on Lone Mountain, several thousand Catholics were buried. And those burials continued throughout the 19th century until about 1903, when the County Board of Supervisors outlawed any further burials within the city.
During construction over summer, they ran into over 24 caskets and remnants of body parts on campus. How do you feel about this, just hearing?
I mean, it's somewhat kind of morbid that it had never been taken out before. I think it's interesting, though. It gives it like some historical aspect, and, like ghosts throughout the buildings.
Did you know before that our school is built on the Masonic Cemetery?
Yeah, I'd heard like rumors about it freshman year, and everyone was kind of like weirded out and said that Lone Mountain was haunted and that sort of thing, but it didn't really bother me too much.
I know that there have been a lot of rumors of hauntings and things like that on campus. As a historian, have you run into these stories as well?
I've heard of the stories, but as a historian and as a social scientist, I have to say that I don't believe in them. I've never really talked to anyone who's given me convincing evidence of ghosts or other supernatural experiences as a result of the fact that we are living and working over a cemetery. So I'd have to say no to that, though a lot of people claim that there are supernatural or ghost experiences associated with Lone Mountain or the main campus, but personally I don't believe it.
I'm sure you've heard of the hauntings and spooky stories from other people. Have you personally had any sort of ghostly encounter?
I haven't. We talked about it in class last year in Lone Mountain. We went to that mirror at the beginning, at the front of the building, and if you look through it, you can kind of see the stairs. And we talked about the woman who supposedly lives up there, but I've never encountered her. I've heard some people have, though.